Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaimudire Nasta Prayesho Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Gnanatimirandasya Gnananjan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, before beginning today's discussion, I want to just read this post that I forwarded on study group about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Very powerful. I just read it. Spoken by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Spoken shortly before his disappearance. The Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. I have upset many persons' minds. Many may have considered me their enemy because I was obliged to speak the plain truth of service and devotion toward the absolute Godhead. So we all know the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is called Lion Guru. Very preaching very boldly. So he's saying, I have upset many persons' minds. Sadhu has to upset. Why? He's saying, because I was obliged to speak the plain truth of service and devotion. The plain truth was not with respect to anything else. The plain truth was in connection with service and devotion toward the absolute Godhead. So in this connection, I had to speak the plain truth. And that has upset their minds. I have given them all those troubles only so that they might turn their face toward the personality of Godhead without any desire for gain and with unalloyed devotion. Only reason for all those troubles, for paining, upsetting people's minds. And to the extent that they may even have considered me their enemy, so that they may turn their face toward the personality of Godhead without any desire for gain and with unalloyed devotion. Surely someday they will be able to understand that. Now, if you see, this is completely contrary to our approach of diluted preaching, of not upsetting people. Today's ISKCON, we are about not upsetting people. Why? We think we are sadhus, we're not supposed to do that. But our Parama Guru ISKCON is teaching us, saying that we have to upset people to speak the plain truth. But then they will surely someday they will be able to understand that. But if we don't speak the truth, plain truth, and we're just beating around the bush or doing all this dilutive preaching, no guarantee that they're going to understand anything. What are they going to understand? All of you propagate the message of Rupa Raghunatha with supreme enthusiasm. Oh, why Rupa Raghunatha? Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says Rupa Raghunatha Pade. So Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Dasa, this is Raghunath Dasa. So they are actually amongst our acharyas, two acharyas, Goswamis who have spoken, written extensively about Madhurya Rasa. So all of you propagate the message of Rupa Raghunatha with supreme enthusiasm. Of course, to be able to reach that stage and understand that so many things which are required, which are there in foundational books, right? Like Rupa Goswami has written, Raghunath Das Goswami has not written, of course, he's written Manasiksha. Um, Rupa Goswami has written more uh, things of practical training for us, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Upadeshamrita, etc. So many books. But ultimately, to come to the stage of Madhurya Prema. So all of you propagate the message with supreme enthusiasm. Propagating the message with supreme enthusiasm for us, as taught by Srila Prabhupada, is distributing books. And yesterday, our Ulimau team were distributing books on this is Sankashta Chaturthi yesterday. Some day which is worshipped in connection with Ganesh ji. So I had the opportunity to be with them, and I could see so much, so enthusiastic. People are not taking books; they're saying, "I don't want," but still, devotees very enthusiastically distributing. Till last person went out of the temple. Supreme enthusiasm. We have to do with supreme enthusiasm. Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dhairya. Our ultimate desire is to become the dust at the lotus feet of the Rupanugas. We are called Rupanugas, meaning followers of Srila Rupa Goswami. So, which is why we have to understand and Rupanuga also then Prabhupadanuga. We are also followers of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is a Rupanuga. Mm. So this is Raganuga Bhakti, following in the footsteps of a devotee of Raja. Mm. So our ultimate desire is to become dust. Rupa Goswami, mm, such high humility. We know about everything that, so many things that he did, gave up everything to join, to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, showed us the standard of how we should use our luck, the money that we earn to live ideal Grasta life. Mm, gave up everything. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they used to live under one tree every day so that they don't get attached to even a tree. If they live under a tree for more than one day, then they're thinking, we might get attached to this tree. So then they are not wanting to stay even under one tree. Mm. And he teaches utmost humility, in connection with Jiva Goswami, who was his nephew and he was under Rupa Goswami's care and uh, guidance. Because Jiva Goswami once tries to prove another Vaishnava who didn't understand Rupa Goswami's writing. But because he tried to correct him, Rupa Goswami actually just um, expels him, he just disowns Jiva Goswami, saying that you don't have the humility. And all Jiva Goswami was trying to do was to just protect Rupa Goswami's, exalted position. But Rupa Goswami was not happy with that. He was very upset. So to become dust at the lotus feet of Rupanugas means utter humility. And now if we look at it, we think that humility and speaking the truth and upsetting people, they don't go together. Of course they go together. In fact, if you see the mood of Srila Prabhupada, if you see the mood of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, it was that this is surrender at the lotus feet, is to speak the truth, which is unpalatable. Because it's very easy to be nice with people. Be nice to people, just smile at them. But real surrender means willing to follow instructions. And that following instructions, um, only then we can attain dust of the lotus feet. Dust of the lotus feet means simply accepting instructions and considering ourselves worthless. So that should be our ultimate desire. But for that, we have to live a life also like that. All should remain united in following the Ashraya Vigraha. Ashray Vigraha, the shelter, Vigraha, the form of shelter is Krishna. For the sake of serving the Advaya Jnana. Advaya Jnana is absolute truth. Hmm? All should remain united in this ephemeral sphere. Ephemeral means fleeting, not permanent. You should somehow or other live only for Hari Bhajana. See, somehow or other. Prabhupada also used to use this word. Somehow or other. Because if you try to use logic or, it might not work. Somehow or other. Yena kena prakarena. Live only for Hari Bhajana. Nothing else. In spite of all dangers, criticisms, and discomforts, do not give up Hari Bhajana. Do not be disappointed that most people in this world do not accept topics of unduplicitous Krishna Seva. This is for those who want others to accept unduplicitous Krishna Seva. Unduplicitous. We talked about this duplicity. So just purely just wanting to please Krishna. That's all. That is unduplicitous Krishna Seva. And most people in this world do not accept topics of pure devotional service. It's okay. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is saying, don't be disappointed. Don't be disappointed. Now, somehow again, our mood in ISKCON seems to be not aligned with this. We have to give topics of undiluted, unduplicitous Krishna Seva. This is what we're supposed to give. Do not forsake your own bhajana of Krishna Katha, Shravana Kirtana, which is your all in all. Krishna Katha, Shravana Kirtana is all in all. With humility like a straw and forbearance like a tree, you should always perform Hari Kirtana. We discussed this also yesterday. So we have to glorify. We have to glorify. We have to do Hari Kirtana, but with humility and tolerance, because it's not easy. It's not easy. Right? I see so many devotees, so much really difficult to manage their own household, their office, and doing Hari Kirtana, going out distributing books, preaching, etc. But for all that, what is required is humility and tolerance. Only then we can always perform Hari Kirtana. And I was telling few devotees last week, saying that, I'm so, what should I say, inspired by seeing all these devotees who are serving with so much enthusiasm. And I was telling them when I was at their stage in bhakti, whatever, they're all like maybe 3-4 years, 2-3 years maybe in bhakti. I was saying, I never had so much enthusiasm. I always used to give excuses not to engage in services. And I see they are all so enthusiastically taking services and engaging. And that is the sign that, they are fixed on the path. So for that, it requires humility and tolerance, because so many problems will keep coming up, and every now and then there's some problem popping up. And in spite of that, retaining enthusiasm for Hari Kirtana is really, that's the whole point here. Utsaha, supreme enthusiasm. Let our bodies, which are like those of aged oxen, be offered into the Sankirtana Yagna of Lord Chaitanya and his associates, not for anything else. Let our bodies be offered into the Sankirtana Yagna of Lord Chaitanya and his associates. We do not aspire to be any kind of heroes of karma or dharma. If anybody wants to become hero, meaning, whatever, by doing karma, achieve good position in the society, name, fame, wealth, etc., or even dharma, so-called dharma, not paradharma, aparadharma. We don't want to become any kind of heroes in this context. But our constitutional position and all in all is to become dust at Sri Rupa Raghunatha's lotus feet in every birth. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is not talking about going back to Godhead or whatever. He's just saying remaining a servant. Dasa, dasa, dasanu, dasa. Actually, this is a very beautiful mood. To just remain dust at the at Sri Rupa Raghunatha's lotus feet in every birth. The Bhakti Vinoda, Dhara, must be Dhara, rain, will never stop. Bhakti Vinoda, which means that which gives happiness, bliss, it will never stop. With all your energy, devote yourself to fulfilling the desire of Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakura. All your energy. There are many among you who are well qualified and able workers. We have no other wish whatsoever. Our only motto is taking a blade of grass between my teeth, I repeatedly fall and pray to become a dust at Srimad Lupa's lotus feet birth after birth. This is Rupanuga. So there are many among you who are qualified and able workers. Workers. Qualified boss nahi. Qualified and able workers. Servants. You have no other wish. Only to become repeatedly. The blade of grass between teeth means humility, utter humility. I repeatedly fall and pray to become dust at Srimad Rupa's lotus feet birth after birth. Certainly, there are multiple inconveniences while we are in this mortal domain, but there's no need to be overwhelmed by them or to try to overcome them. Very heavy. May or may not be possible at our level of surrender, but yeah, something to look forward to in the future. He's saying don't be overwhelmed by all the problems. At the same time, don't try to overcome them. Don't waste your time trying to overcome them. Rather, even during the duration of our present life, we must become acquainted with what we shall gain after surpassing all those difficulties. Actually, this is a beautiful question. Hmm. What we shall gain after surpassing all the difficulties. So whenever I used to feel this, that whenever we're going through a lot of problems, then initially I used to think, okay, let's we should get over these problems. Then slowly steadily this question started coming to me, saying that okay, even if I am able to overcome, what will I gain? How will my life change? Will I be able to do something which I am not able to do in the service of Krishna? If so, yes, then that surpassing the difficulty will make sense. But if nothing is going to change in terms of my surrender, submission, service, nothing, and I'm just gaining something materially, what is the use of that? What we shall gain? What shall we gain? What we shall gain by surpassing all these difficulties? And what shall be the mode of our permanent existence? This is what we have to be thinking. In this world, we are compelled to make decisions regarding objects that evoke our desire and revulsion, isn't it? We are compelled. We are compelled by Prakriti to make decisions regarding objects that evoke our desire, revulsion, Ichcha, Dvesha. Both these that we want and those we do not. Attachment and detachment in this damned existence. If you think it's any good, it's damned existence. No hope. Only, yeah, just pulling us down, 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 down. Attachment and detachment increase according to the degree that we are separated from Krishna's lotus feet. Powerful statement. So attachment, detachment towards this material world increase according to how far we are from Krishna's lotus feet, how separated we are from Krishna's lotus feet. So the closer we are to Krishna's lotus feet, The lesser attachment and detach or whatever. Attachment, detachment to material objects, meaning attachment or detachment to material objects. We are looking at these things as material, and that shows that we are far separated from Krishna's lotus feet. When we are able to transcend the position of attachment and detachment in this world of death and are attracted by the holy name of Godhead, then only can we understand the taste of Krishna's seva rasa. Hmm. So we have to transcend this attachment, detachment in this material world, and we should get attracted by holy name of Godhead. Then only can we understand the taste of Krishna seva rasa. So what this means? That if we are still attached, detached to this material world, we cannot understand the taste of Krishna seva rasa. This is the higher taste. Vishaya vinivartante. Niraharasya dehi. At the present time, Krishna's instructions seem highly startling and perplexing. Yeah, highly startling and perplexing. Oh, not possible. Too much. Knowingly or unknowingly, everyone who is considered a human being, everyone who is considered a human being, uh, is more or less struggling to eliminate those invading elements that baffle our perception of our eternal need. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's English, I mean, this still seems to be very simple English he has written. Should read Brahma Samhita commentary. Uh, like really crazy. You need a dictionary for every word. Anyway, so this one, knowingly or unknowingly, everyone who is considered a human being is more or less struggling. Every human being, knowingly or unknowingly, is struggling for to do what? To eliminate those invading elements that baffle our perception of our eternal need. Uh, Knowingly or unknowingly, mostly people are. So, what does this mean? So, baffle our perception of our eternal need, meaning we actually don't know what our eternal need is. So, and everybody has some sense of what that their eternal need is, and uh, situations happen that mm, there are elements that baffle our that like we cannot actually perceive our real eternal need. Now, suppose say our eternal need we think is material, then people are engaged in eliminating those elements. Uh, um, but we don't know. We don't know, and it's confusing. It's creating confusion in our mind in terms of what our eternal need is. Our only requirement is to enter. So, what is our eternal need? Our only requirement is to enter into the kingdom of our eternal necessity by going beyond dualities. So, Traigunya Vishya Vedan is Traigunya Bhavarjuna. So, this is our actual need. This is our eternal need. And everybody is baffled about it. We have no love or hatred toward anyone in this world. So, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is starting, he says that, I might have upset many persons' mind. But it's not because of love or hatred toward anyone in this world or for any reason in connection with this world. It's just to please Guru and Krishna. All arrangements made herein are but temporary. Therefore, that supreme goal is indispensably necessary. It is necessary for everyone in this world. Supreme indispensably. We cannot not have it. It's absolutely necessary, unavoidably necessary for everyone. And what is that supreme goal? Here, going beyond dualities. All of you should work unitedly and harmoniously for the same objective of attaining eligibility for seva to the original Ashraya Vigraha. Eligibility for seva. What is this? What is eligibility for seva? We are all thinking we are all doing seva. What does this mean? Attaining eligibility for seva? Anybody? Attaining eligibility for seva means this is pure devotional service. That means we have to become pure. That is the attaining the eligibility. May the conceptions of the Rupanugas flow in the world. Now there are conceptions of Bhoganugas, those who are, or Kalyanugas, Kalinugas, Kali Anugas, followers of Kali that are flowing in the world. But conceptions of Rupanugas should flow in the world. Let us never feel the slightest dejection while engaged in the seven-tongued flame of Sankirtana Yagna. Because there will be so many challenges. So many challenges, oppositions. Then we have, differences of opinion between devotees, etc., etc. And because because of our fallen conditions, we might engage with others on the material platform. So many issues. So many issues. But we should not feel the slightest dejection. Only if we have undaunted, no fear, and ever increasing attachment. Not actual meaning of unafraid, yeah. And ever increasing attachment, for it shall we achieve all perfection. For it means for this Sankirtana Yagna. Only if we are unafraid and we have ever increasing attachment for the Sankirtana Yagna, shall we achieve all perfection. Under the guidance of the Rupanugas, all of you should fearlessly and with utmost energy preach Rupa Raghunatha Katha. This is Saraswati Thakur. Fearlessly and with utmost energy preach. I mean, this is the mood. This is the actually mood of Srila Prabhupada. He showed that simply, going all over the world tirelessly, fearlessly at that age, preaching this message. Okay, so we should all pray the lotus feet of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that he gives us his causeless mercy, empowers us to preach fearlessly and with utmost energy in this damned existence. All powerful words is used. Damned existence, mortal domain. So somehow, in this world of Ichcha and Dvesha, somehow we have to just continue without losing focus, without losing enthusiasm. Yeah, and with being fearless and plainly speaking the truth. Should dedicate our life for this, and should aspire to become dust on Srimad Rupa's lotus feet, birth after birth. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Okay, just chant pranam mantra of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Vishnupada Krishna Prabheshwar Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati iti namine Shivasapani Videvi Daitaya Kripapte Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojjwala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktita Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murte Dinatharine Shri Rupanuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dvanta Harini. Hare Krishna. Okay, any questions? I will not start another verse today. Any questions? Anybody? Heavy message. Yeah, Shashank Prabhu.
Krishna, Pranam, Prabhu.
Yeah, Pranam.
Prabhu, Krishna came to this world to teach Raganuga Bhakti,
Yeah.
and here it is Rupanuga. So,
Yeah, Raganuga. Okay, so technically, what does Raganuga mean? Raganuga Bhakti means there is Ragatmika Bhakti. Okay, Ragatmika Bhakti is the Bhakti of the Vrajavasis. That's called Ragatmika. Okay, and Raganuga means following in the footsteps of Ragatmika Bhaktas. Meaning, simply put, just learning to serve, love Krishna just like the Brajavasis do. And one of the important things when you come to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, you will understand these topics. You have to read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu for this. Rupa Goswami there says that Raganuga Bhakti means following in the footsteps of a Ragatmika Bhakta, meaning of one of the devotees of Vraja. Now, who is Rupa Goswami? Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari. Mm. Manjari are young maidens who are serving all the gopis. So Rupa Goswami is actually the right hand of everything that happens in uh, spiritual world with respect to service to Radha and Krishna. Of course, Lalita and Vishaka are the key Sakhis, and but Rupa Goswami or Rupa Manjari, who is assistant of mm, Lalita Sakhi, she is um, all in all, you know. When it comes to service. And she came down in the form of Srila Rupa Goswami. So following in the footsteps of Ragatmika Bhakta means there are two aspects. This is the part of Raganuga Bhajana, which is still very far away for us, but because you're asking, I'm just saying. Raganuga Bhajana has two aspects. One is following in the footsteps of the um, uh, Ragatmika Bhakta, okay, in this case Rupa Manjari, in when Rupa Manjari appears in this mortal world, which is in the form of Rupa Goswami. So one is serving in the line of Srila Rupa Goswami, and serving in the line of Srila Rupa Goswami is basically books and book distribution, right? Writing books, distributing books. This is all in line of because Rupa Goswami was mainly involved in scriptural work, right? And in terms of following in the footsteps of Rupa Manjari herself, right, to understand what are the services that are done, etc., etc. So it's a very exalted topic. So Raganuga means Rupanuga. Rupanuga means Prabhupadanuga. Hmm. Prabhupadanuga. So we have to be a very strict follower because we shouldn't. Sometimes when we read all these acharyas, etc., we might think Prabhupada is saying something different. No, Prabhupada is saying the same thing in a way we can understand and appreciate in this time and age. He is not saying anything different. He's not saying anything new. So if we simply become strict followers of Srila Prabhupada, then we are strict followers of Srila Rupa Goswami. Then we are strict followers of Rupa Manjari, and that is Raganuga Bhakti.
Because even I felt it, Prabhu, like Srila Prabhupada, whatever we are now, and it is bit different, I felt. So, and
No,
what is the different? Yeah, I
there's
understood.
no difference. We have to just come to a higher level of understanding. Then we will understand that Prabhupada just gave us what we can consume. That's all.
Okay.
If Prabhupada had given us anything more, we wouldn't have been able to consume it. So he knew exactly what needs to be given, and he's given that. And then all our acharyas, they don't want to step over the previous acharya. So Prabhupada has also said, you study my books, you come to a certain level of purity, then you can read acharyas. Right? Then of course there are other topics which Prabhupada has mentioned in his books, but not explicitly and not exhaustively. Um, that we will understand through previous acharyas books.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Prabhu. Prabhu.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna. Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, yeah, really heavy lecture and lot of takeaways, lot of takeaways from here. Just one thing I wanted to know, are these teachings applicable even for the neophyte devotees like me? Because
What teachings?
so for example, to be uh, even if the truth is unpalatable, then we should basically communicate to people, right? So based on our discussion yesterday,
Mm.
uh, we have to be very careful, right, in communicating and also preaching. So how to see that aspect, that we should also there is also a responsibility of a devotee to not disturb the minds and hearts of other devotees, right, while preaching. If let's say some standard is not being followed, then we have to communicate but that has to be done in a very careful way. So whatever teachings we were reading from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, uh, I think, in my opinion, it should be like it is very easy for a advanced devotee to practice that who is at a senior position. But what about a general devotee who is just starting the sadhana and still at a neophyte level? For example, I'm talking about myself. Uh, how applicable those teachings are in terms of practicing that?
No, because there are various things Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has written in this particular article, right? I mean, see, just one part is about upsetting people's minds, right? Okay, I mean, if suppose if we are not able to understand this upsetting people's minds, we can keep it aside. But there's so many things he has said about dedication, surrender, submission, pure devotion. Uh, I mean, those things we can adopt, right? See, this one is not, it depends, it just depends on what Srila Prabhupada used to do. Uh, he's on the Vyasas and always heavy, right? On with people who are coming, who are representing other belief systems. He was always heavy, right? Because he wanted to prove that they are wrong, right? For a reason, right? Because Krishna consciousness is the only real thing and everything else is wrong, right? Cheating. So he was so heavy. I mean, he never, you hear all conversations, Prabhupada conversations, from wherever. So you will see that he is heavy. He's heavy, right? But then when it came to devotees directly coming and asking, sometimes they're, Prabhupada says, he used to um, he used to, strictly follow this apichet suduracharo, right? So if somebody was not at that stage, he used to forgive them, but then he always used to give them a chance, and tell them what need to not had to be done. Um, See, which is again, it's the same topic as yesterday, right? We have to just know our adhikara. If we know our adhikara, we will not be in trouble. We'll not put ourselves in trouble. But it's a very small aspect. I mean, it's not the biggest aspect, right? Worst case, okay, if we are not able to tell anything to anybody, let's first start telling to ourselves. Are we following everything, right? I think, see, the mood here is to become that, worthy servant. That's the mood of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, saying that we are servants. So let's just be good servants, right? Yeah, initially, if we think we can't follow that, it's okay. We will not get involved in trying to advise others at all. Why should we? Yeah, it's good. It's always good to think that I'm not qualified to tell others, and it's okay. We will come to a stage where when we follow everything else, then we understand saying that no, no, this can't be. We can't just leave it like this. We'll be doing disservice. That's also part of service to not keep quiet. And then, of course, there is little bit maturity required to figure out how to handle it, etc., etc. Right? But don't get distracted. The point I'm making is this message from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is much bigger, right? Speaking the truth, yes, we have to speak the truth, um, but there are so many other things that we need to actually we should follow, right? So maybe you can read the message once more because it's important. What your question is important, but I'm thinking that there are other things which possibly can get our attention at this point of time. And yeah, when time comes, we will possibly be able to understand what to do with, how we speak with people. And please remember one thing all the time, Vyasasan, if you're sitting on Vyasasan and preaching versus personal interaction with devotees, these are very, very different, right? If you can actually understand that, um, yeah, most problems get kind of solved. Yeah, Vamshi Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have one point related to that Vyasasan teaching,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
I have seen cases where the actual truth, when spoken by a speaker, the speakers got debarred from ISKCON only saying that it is too heavy for the congregation. I
It's
mean, they
okay.
were not heavy, but they were very correct as per Shastra. For example, the topics of female Diksha Guru, and then
It's okay. What can we do?
yeah. So
What can
just
we do?
wanted to know that because these, if a preacher is telling these truths, right, in
Yeah,
Vyasa,
yes.
then this speaker is also getting into trouble in terms of
That's okay. That is okay. That is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mood. That is what he's saying. Saying that it doesn't matter. There will be disturbances, there will be difficulties, but it's okay. See, on the Vyasasana, no, none of our acharyas compromise on the Vyasasana. Personal, why there is no compromise there, but it's a understanding that human beings have frailties, they have, weaknesses, and it's a mode of more of trying to help them more incrementally from where they stand than giving them something that they cannot accept at all or understand, and then they just go away from the path of bhakti, right? So the personal this one, it's not dilution, but it's just more realistic understanding the individual devotee's position. But Vyasasan, we are representing Vyasadev. Did Vyasadev when you're sitting on the Vyasasana, did Vyasadev worry about anybody else, whether they're going to like the truth or not? That is the mood on the Vyasasana. Unfortunately, whatever happens, happens. But yeah, this is what we have to stick to.
okay, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Vamshi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, more in line to what Prabhu was actually asking. So, uh, considering that you are also saying that ISKCON currently is also diluting the messaging, uh, and
No, not
right.
not
So,
everywhere, not everywhere. But dilution is happening. It's not a.
right.
It's not that we are going behind dilution is our focus. No, but generally, like being nice to people seems to have taken more precedence. Like so many times,
Precedence.
conversations
Right.
happen saying that, oh, if you say this, then people might not come. These
Right.
kind of things. I
Right.
might lose,
Mm.
so many people.
But
That's not
but
the
how do you
focus.
strike a balance, Prabhu?
No, no,
There,
we don't need to
because
strike a balance. We
considering
don't need to strike a balance. See, this is the difference. This is the difference in approach, right? See, Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur were about giving the truth, giving out the truth, right? And the balance will happen in your personal rapport with people, possibly, if at all it has to happen, right? Because if we want to balance, then we will go in for dilution. So it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
about
and
balancing, it's about
considering,
giving the truth.
got it. Yeah. And also considering Kali being like a degradation, and which is further going to be really bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So if we really talk the truth, will people start thinking it's really harsh on them, or like so
Yeah. What can we
just
do?
just thinking aloud.
No, what can we do? I mean, see, the truth, absolute truth is what we are. Are we speaking anything? Are we concocting something? Right? No. We are speaking what
Right.
Vyasadeva has given. We are speaking what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur spoke. We are speaking what Prabhupada spoke and what they expect us to speak. No, if we don't tell all this and we talk about general stuff, general whatever, right? Say some pastimes. Say, okay, it's all good, and not tell them really what really is bhakti. They're not going to get anywhere, right? Any which way. Anyway, so this is this, ever what should I say? Long-standing difference of opinion in terms of how we should preach. But I'm not prescribing anything. I'm just saying that this was Prabhupada's mood, and this was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mood. You can decide which direction you want to take, but this is their mood. That's the point.
Understood.
And they were heavy, and no, I mean, not it's not for any other reason that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is called Lion Guru, right? Lion is fiery, you know, and his Krishna Katha was 4 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. No, no, nothing less, right? I mean, today, if you speak for more than 40 minutes, people fall off, sleep off, right? He is like a And Prabhupada also. Prabhupada, you had the same mood, but then because he was preaching in West, right, which was culturally very different from India, so he made some changes. Didn't that doesn't mean that he diluted. He just did time, place, circumstance alteration, right? But it's the same mood that we can know through his books, you know, and even his lectures. I mean, I've been doing this service of translating Srila Prabhupada's lectures into Kannada, and I'm really so fortunate. Having to go through each and every word of these lectures, and I'm so heavy. Oh my God! I mean, just literally like blasting. In a Western country, going and saying like fools and rascals, right? I mean, just imagine. But that was his mood. That was his mood, and he felt like if it was, and then immediately, and he would also be smiling. He, he's like 1,000-watt smile, which attracted thousands of people, right? So he would also be so heavy at the same time. He would love. People used to just love Prabhupada for what he was, right? So it's like that. Vajradapi kathor, kusumadapi komal, right? So but he never diluted. No compromise. Yesterday I sent a message, no compromise. No compromise. Prabhupada directly said, why should I compromise when my guru did not compromise? So I'm not going to compromise. Simple. Right? Okay. Anything else? Okay, we'll close here. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Mancha Kalpatarubhya Chakrapasana Peo Chakrapasana Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Pranam.